Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and greetings to everyone who willing to take time to watch our interview session today on YouTube. First of all, I would like to introduce myself. I'm Luqman bin Ibrahim Shamsul Kamal, a student from the Faculty of Technical and Vocational Education at the University Tun Pusat on Malaysia, majoring in a bachelor degree in welding and metal fabrication. Next, I leave it to my fellow moderator to introduce himself.
Okay, thank you, Luqman. Assalamualaikum and greetings. My name is Muhammad Shafiq bin Isnan, your fellow moderator today. I'm also a student from the Technical Vocational Education Faculty at the University Tun Pusat Malaysia, majoring in a bachelor degree in welding and metal fabrication. Okay, our interview session today aims to fulfill the project assignment for metallurgy and corrosion.
Before we start the interview today, we want to know a little bit about the background of our guest. So can you both introduce yourself? Welcome, Sir Eden and Sir Faris. Maybe Sir Faris first for introduce.
Okay, so I continue. My name is Tukupai Pahan bin Zuldan, and my position for this company is executive director in the name of company KVV Tank and Partner Construction and Ltd. So continue to.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Faris, and thank you also to our gentleman here for today. First of all, my name is Dan Jeremiah Sunang, and I'm one of the senior project engineer in this company. Talking about job, I already spent about 15 years in this respectfully field of work, which is under KVV Tank Pipeline Construction. Currently, we are one of the companies that are responsible for one of the biggest project in Saudi Arabia in terms of pipeline construction, which involve around $1.1 trillion worth of project. Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Faris, and also Mr. Eden, for your introduce yourself a moment ago. Okay, let's go back to our interview topic today, which is topic is 70 pipeline industry characteristic, behavior, and mechanism. Okay, the first question from me: can you tell me about the project is doing in term of introduction, background, purpose, and also the objective?
Okay, thank you, moderator, for the question. So I start with the background of our company. Our company has a rich history in the industry and is known for its high quality workmanship, professionalism, and innovative construction techniques. The company has a large team of experienced engineers and construction professionals who are dedicated to delivering projects on time within the budget. Our company has a big reputation for delivering complex and challenging projects. Hence, it has worked on many high-profile projects throughout the years. And the purpose of the company is specialized in constructing and maintaining tanks, pipelines, and related structure and equipment, which are critical components on the transportation and storage of oil and gas and other industrial liquid and gases. And for this time, our research and development R&D company that focus on prevention of stress corrosion on the activity pipeline. Our duty for the research and development activity pipeline is first one is defining the conditions and factors that contribute to FCC pipelines, including material selection, manufacturing processes, operating conditions, and the type of corrosive environment. And number two, characterizing the behavior of activity pipeline system with the combined action of sulfate. It's to reducing material and coastal load under conditions that lead to FCC, such as a growth and propagation of a crack. So that's all from me.
Thank you, Sir Faris, for the answer. Next question, I want to ask Sir Eden. Okay, what do you know about stress corrosion cracking, or short form is SCC? Sir Eden.
Okay, thank you, Luqman, for the question. It's a very nice question, actually. When it comes to the stress corrosion cracking, also known as SCC, SCC is the term of a corrosion-related phenomenon that occurs when a material is subjected to both a corrosive environment and a tensile stress, which means this combination of factor results in cracking or fracture of the material, which can lead to failure. SCC also is a quite dangerous form of corrosion because it can occur suddenly and without warning, leading to unexpected failure in structure and also the other components. That's why the combination of tensile stress and corrosive environment accelerate the cracking process, causing material failure much faster than would occur under normal corrosion conditions. The tensile stress in SCC can result from various sources, such as we can say the external loads, residual stresses, temperature change. The corrosive environment can be created by a variety of chemicals, including salts, acids, and alkalis. SCC is also commonly observed in metals such as aluminum, stainless steel, high-strength alloys, although it can also occur or happen in other material. So that's my question. And that's my answer for your question, Mr. Rahman. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eden, for sharing your opinion just now. Then I want to ask Safaris, can you state the cause or the factor of the stress corrosion in the manufacturing industry? Please.
Yeah, good question. Actually, for our project in X70 pipeline, that can be damaged by stress corrosion cracking, which is propagation of a crack under the combined influence of stress and corrosion. The causes of stress corrosion in X70 pipelines are very complex, but it can be broadly categorized into environmental, material, lubrication, installation, operating, loading, impurities, and corrosion protection factors. For the high strength and steel used to manufacture X70 pipelines is more susceptible to stress corrosion cracking than other materials. Stress corrosion leads to the ignition and the propagation of stress corrosion cracks, which can lead to the loss of performance into the pipeline critical components, such as gas, oil, or water. The presence of impurities, such as sulfur in X70 pipelines, will be increased their susceptibility to increase to stress corrosion cracking. The lack of adequate corrosion protection, such as a coating or cathodic protection system, can also increase the risk of stress corrosion cracking.
All right. Thank you, Sir Faris, for the explanation just now. Next, I want to ask Said. Okay. Can you tell me how your company use the non-destructive test or NDT method to detect stress corrosion? Let's take example, maybe using ultrasonic test or maybe radiographic test. Said, can you answer it?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Loma, for the question. Normally, in the X70 pipeline industry, we prefer ultrasonic testing in order to evaluate the presence and extent of the stress corrosion cracking or SCC in pipeline itself. The experimental method for ultrasonic testing for SCC in X70 pipelines typically involve the following step. The first step involved is the preparation itself, which is the surface of the pipeline is clean and prepared for testing. Then we go to the next step, which is coupling, which means that the coupling material such as the gel is applied to the surface in order to improve the transmission of the ultrasonic wave into the pipeline. And then we go to the transducer placement, which is an ultrasonic transducer is placed on the surface of the pipeline, and they used to transmit the ultrasonic wave into the material and to receive the reflection from internal flows. Then, after we done the transducer placement, we proceed to the scanning. The scanning, which is the transducer, is moved along the length of the pipeline in the controlled manner, and the reflection from internal flow are recorded and analyzed. And then we go to the data analysis. Of course, all the steps are done. Then we go for the data, which is we collect the data from the ultrasonic testing in terms of analyze it to determine the presence or location and extent of the SCC cracks, which is the characteristic, behavior, and mechanism of SCC in this pipeline can vary depending on the specific condition and the environment in which the pipeline is operating. Factors that can influence SCC in pipeline include the composition and properties of the material itself, the presence of corrosive substances, the mechanical loading condition, and also the temperature. Yes, that's all for this question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Eden, for the question, for the answer. Then I want to ask Sir Faris, can you tell me how to test the metal stress corrosion using the salt spray testing, and how long does the stress corrosion test for salt spray testing take? Please, Mr.
Actually, Okay, I continue. I want to explain a little bit explanation about the salt spray method. Salt spray testing is a method of evaluating the corrosion resistance of metal component that perform a salt spray test. Metal sample is placed in a salt spray chamber and subject to a continuous spray of salt water. This sample is examined for any sign of corrosion, such as discoloration and pitting or cracking. The length of time the method is exposed to the salt spray can vary, but typically lasts for several hours or days. The result of the test can be used to determine the susceptibility of the metal to stress corrosion, cracking, and provide information on the effectiveness of the salt spring or surface treatment in preventing corrosion. The salt spray test chamber, like example, is a piece of environmental testing equipment that analyze a product material corrosion resistant by creating simulated salt spray environmental conditions. The salt spray environment chloride concentration can be up to 10 times higher that of the surrounding natural environment, which significantly speed up the corrosion. The product salt spray test can be significantly reduce the time and it takes the get a result. For instance, corrosion of the product in the natural may take a year, but a corrosion of the same product test in a salt spray chamber could take up to the 24 hours or 1 day.
Okay, thank you, Sir Paris, for the explanation just now. Then I want to ask Sir Eden, can you describe and name the type of the stress corrosion and the characteristic of the stress corrosion?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Shafiq. Well, before that, let me share with you my screen first. Okay, everybody can see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. As for the type of the stress corrosion involved and the part of the name of each part, when we look at the first picture, you can see the intergranular fracture. This one is the as machine sample, which is you can see the fracture morphology of the as machine specimen show mostly clear SEC cracks and the intergranular fracture of itself. Then the second picture, this is based on the LSP1, which means that the liquid standardization program. The LSP is one of the specific sample the laboratories itself. As you can see, the SEC crack changed to a mixed mode of intergranular fracture and transgranular fracture. Then the third picture is the fracture of the LSP2 specimen was mainly dominated by transgranular fracture. You can see the third picture there. And the fourth one is the intragranular cracks. You can see there was a large number of long and deep intragranular cracks on the cross-sectional morphology of the as machine specimen itself. And then proceed to the next picture. We can see also the cracks, which is the intergranular cracks and transgranular cracks in the LSP1 specimen itself. And then the intergranular cracks was significantly reduced in the LSP2 specimen in the next picture. That's all for the type of the cracks you can see. Yes, thank you, Mr. Shafiq.
Sorry, Saden, we have answer for characteristic.
Okay, as for the characteristic of the stress corrosion involved, the first one is intergranular cracks. Intergranular stress corrosion cracking, also known as IGSCC, is a type of stress corrosion that occur along grain boundaries in materials subjected to tensile stress and corrosive environment. This type of corrosion is characterized by the simultaneous presence of tensile stress and a corrosion environment, which can cause cracks to initiate and propagate along the grain boundaries. IGSCC also can be accelerated by impurities or microstructural defects, such as inclusions or non-metallic paste, which can act as initiation sites for cracks. In addition, also the presence of impurities or defect can have a significant impact on the mechanical properties of the material, reducing its resistance to cracking and increasing its susceptibility to IGSCC. And the second one is transgranular cracks. Transgranular corrosion refers to a type of corrosion that occurs within the grains or crystal structure of a material rather than at its grain boundaries. This type of corrosion is characterized by the progressive and widespread nature of the corrosion process, which occur within the grain structure of the material. Transgranular corrosion is often the result of uniform corrosion, in which the entire surface of the material is exposed to the corrosive environment. This type of corrosion can be influenced by various factors, including grain size and distribution of the material, as well as the composition and the microstructure of the material itself. Thank you. Thank you for the question. That's all for me.
Alright, thank you, Sir Eden, for the clear explanation about the characteristic. Alright, actually, I want to ask again, Sir Eden, for the last question. Okay. Alright, can you express your opinion on how stress corrosion can be prevented and controlled to reduce repair costs due to corrosive damage? Sir Eden?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Lukman. Okay. The first one, we refer to intergranular cracks. This type of corrosion cracking, cracking is a type of corrosion that occurs at the grain boundaries of metal alloys, which can cause significant damage to component and result in costly repair. To prevent and control intergranular stress and reduce repair costs, several methods can be implemented. The first one, the material selection, also play an important role in preventing intergranular stress corrosion itself. And then we must apply. The second one is we must apply the protective coating like paint, galvanizing, or the coating can provide the additional layer of protection against intergranular stress corrosion cracking. And the third one is the control of the fabrication process itself, such as the welding, the heat treatment is crucial, preventing intergranular stress corrosion cracking. This process can introduce stress into components, so it is important to control and monitor them to ensure the components are not subjected to excessive stress. Finally, we can control the service conditions such as temperature, pressure, flow rate, and surely it can help prevent intergranular stress corrosion cracking from widespread. And the second one is transgranular cracks. To prevent this type of corrosion cracking, several measures can be taken. Firstly, it is same as the first one, which is the material selection play an important role in this type of corrosion. By selecting corrosion-resistant alloy, the likelihood of the transgranular stress corrosion cracking can be significantly reduced. The second one is environmental control. It is also play an important factor in preventing this corrosion cracking, which is reducing exposure to corrosive environments such as high temperature, humidity, high chloride level can help minimize this type of corrosion cracking. The third one is we must monitoring and inspect the component, which is we regularly checking for the sign of corrosion damage. Issues can be detected and addressed early. Yes, means that reducing the risk of significant damage, and also we can reduce the costly repair for the corrosion itself. In conclusion, by implementing this measure, transgranular stress corrosion cracking can be prevented and controlled, reducing repair costs and prolonging the life of the component affected by this type of corrosion. I think that is all from me for this type of two type of corrosion, which is intergranular and transgranular. That's all from me. Thank you, Mr. Lukman.
Okay, thank you very much to Mr. Eden and Mr. Faris for the exciting sharing. Okay, gentlemen, we have come to the end of the interview. I want to say a million thanks to both of you, Mr. Eden and also Mr. Faris, for being very
Thank you, Mr. Lukman.
Yeah.
Okay,
For willing to participate in online interview and willing to share knowledge with us.
Yes.
This interview can provide helpful information for us. With this, our interview for today ends. And thank you for watching. Bye bye.
Okay. Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you.